Hi everybody, it's January, but I have a red hot idea for Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day is fast approaching. Unless you're watching this video after Valentine's Day, then you have a ton of time. So let's get right to it, and I'm going to show you the ingredients that I'm going to use for today's project. I am using Stone Coat Countertops Epoxy Resin. Now I have been using their Art Coat resin in the past, but today I'm using their countertop version because in the near future, I'm going to be doing some countertops, some tabletops, and I want to get used to the differences in how this acts. It's always good to get familiar with your product before you do a bigger project. So I'm also using their mica flakes. I have some really pretty mica flakes that I'm going to be using. This is not a colorant, it's like an additive that lends a sparkle and shine and some really interesting texture to your pour, because I'm going to be using clear resin today. I'm not going to color it. And if you want to try Stone Coat Countertops resin or their really cool mica flakes, you can go to stonecoatcountertops.com, and if you use the promo code Caren, you will get $10 off of your $100 order. So you can't beat that. And now I'm going to talk about the stuff I got on Amazon for this project. I have some tumbled glass. And if you think this is easy to find, it's not. I buy stuff on Amazon, and quite often it's not what I expect. So I spend a lot of time looking for just what I need for a project I have in mind. So these are little red clear glass, and then I also have some multicolored glass that are slightly larger, and I'm going to use just a few of those as accent pieces in what I'm getting ready to do. The next thing I have, which is really fun, is a digital thermometer, and you can test the temperature of your resin, and it's really good. Let me hit this resin. It's really good in the cold or winter months to see where you're at. I'm testing just the bottle sitting here. They are at 76 degrees, which is really good. If you can stay between 70 and 76 degrees, or 70, 75 degrees, your room temperature also. So last but not least is my little board that I'm going to pour on. This is an 8x8 board. I'm not using canvas today. You know, canvas can sink under resin, and painting on these boards is really fun. And I thought this 8x8 was a really nice size for this project. Now what I did here was I did a pour about a week ago, and it was a swipe, and I was looking for some soft pink colors. So I have some pink and white in here. Don't know exactly the colors I use, but I was using my Happy Medium paint ready to pour, which is listed in the description below, along with everything else I've talked about here today. So that's what I was shooting for, was just kind of a soft pink, and then we're going to do a red heart on top of this. All I did was let it sit for about a week, and then I cleaned it off just with a damp cloth, just to get any dust off, and it's ready to go. So now I'm going to mix up 4 ounces of resin. It's a little more than I need for an 8x8, but I will be using the leftover then at the end. Pour the hardener in first. I have a nice measuring cup here, so I'm going to go 2 ounces of the hardener, and you want to nail this. Now I'm going to go to the 4-ounce line, which is on my side here with the resin. The resin's thicker. You have to have a little patience here. Okay, I'm going to stir my resin for a little over 2 minutes. Okay, I've mixed this for a little over 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, and I'm going to pour some right on this board here. I don't need a lot, but I want coverage. And I can put more if I need to, but I'm going to spread this around, go to the edges before I start over the sides. Okay, I've got the top covered. Now I want it to go over the sides, and my best tool for that is to use my fingers to get the sides covered. because it looks a lot nicer. Again, you don't need a lot of resin on this first coat because there's going to be a second coat later. Okay, I've got pretty good coverage here. Some leftovers, I'll use that in a little while. Now, here comes the fun part. I'm going to use about this many of these red chunks of glass. Drop it right in the middle. And I'm going to start pushing it into a shape of a heart. See, I need some more. I'll go for it. Now there's plenty of working time with this resin, so you don't need to hurry. Just get your shape, push it how you want it. And I like a little randomness. I'm not looking for a perfectly shaped heart because that's just, I find things more interesting if they're not perfect. And I also want to leave plenty of this background acrylic pork because it's so pretty. Now for some variation, I'm going to go over here to my bigger chunks of glass in the different colors. And also a red one, which is larger than these others. So I like some variation. Now I'm looking and I need to clean up this shape. I'm going to fill in some blank areas. I'm going to go around the edge. This heart could stand to be a little bigger. And then I'm just pushing it into shape. You just want to make sure you push it down into the resin so the resin is serving as a glue for this. And I like things to be kind of random, so I'm going to sprinkle a few red ones outside of the heart shape just for fun. Now I'm going to move to my mica flakes. I have a little stir stick. I'm just going to sprinkle some around. Just to give it a little more texture. This is Copper Canyon. This is a kind of a gold. It's a little larger than this one I just used, which is Southwest Desert. I don't want to get carried away with these, but I think having them sprinkled around is kind of fun, and I can also move them with my stick. Now I can come back in probably an hour if I want and add some more rocks, some more glass chunks if I want. Like I see a spot here that's missing it's kind of a blank space, so I'll put one in there. You can play with this for quite some time. You can pack them in tightly or leave them more loose, whatever you like. Turn this around. That's pretty much done. So what I like about this is I've been thinking a lot about texture lately, and I like the idea of taking a kind of a simple background pour and turning it into something that's more dimensional. So you can take a pour that's maybe a little boring that you already have. If you've done a lot of paintings, you probably have a lot of things sitting around that could be used as a background like I did here. And these mica flakes add some really interesting texture and interest. They're sparkly. I'm going to take this electric blue and do a few of those around just to show you how it looks. Those are fine. I'm not going to touch them. I'm only going to do one more thing. I'm going to hit this with the torch to get rid of the bubbles. I noticed with this countertop resin, the bubbles come out really easily. And just hitting it with a torch, even the heat gun seems to work for this. One more thing. I'm going to use up this leftover resin, and this is a heart that I did last week, and it has a first coat of resin, and I'm going to use up my excess resin and do a second coat on this one. So when these are both done, I'll have a matched set here. I'm just going to use it up. I love this dimension. I have a lot of ideas for these. This is just a start to me for putting chunks and rocks and glass into these paintings. I always do a second coat on resin. One coat is never enough. So this second coat's really going to make this nice. Get my edges. And hit it with the torch. So I hope you enjoyed this heart demo, and possibly it'll give you some ideas of some texture that you can do yourself. If you don't want to do a heart, you can do something else. This glass also comes in different colors. I have the links below to everything I used here, but they come in different colors. There's lots of cool stuff out there. So check out the links in the description below. There's also my social media links down there that you can check out. And please comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you next time.